You've spent weeks compiling data, analyzing workflows, and writing a comprehensive project proposal. But if you walk into a boardroom and drop a massive text-heavy report on the table, your project is likely already dead. Executives simply do not have the time or patience to read technical manuals. To secure budget approval, you have to distill all that complexity into a sharp 5-slide pitch. So gather your core proposal documents, pull up your financial estimates, and open a blank presentation file. Even the most advanced technology remains invisible if buried in a report that never gets read. In this room, the strength of your engineering only matters once you've cleared the hurdle of executive psychology. When you start speaking, you have exactly 3 minutes before the board decides to either listen to you or check their phones. Leading with company history or team bios guarantees they tune out. Delete those standard introductory slides.
Open your deck by addressing the most urgent problem your company is facing right now. This taps into loss aversion. The fear of losing $60,000 weighs on decision-making twice as heavily as gaining $60,000. Pitching a robotics upgrade to increase efficiency is weak. Framing it to stop $60,000 in penalty fines commands instant attention. Executives will eagerly write a check to eliminate an immediate, painful risk. They hesitate to gamble that same money on potential future gains. Once you have their attention, you need to present your solution. This means stripping out all technical specifications, software languages, and jargon from your second slide. The board requires 3 metrics to make a decision: total cost, expected return, and payback period. Every technical feature must translate directly into expected savings. Finally, define your break-even point. A precise 1.5-year return on investment provides the concrete financial justification they need. A successful presentation takes a complex technological solution and converts it into a clear, measurable financial vehicle. As soon as your formal presentation ends, the board begins their stress test. They will push back and try to find flaws in your proposal. Prepare for resistance by keeping your main deck to 5 slides. Move all 30 pages of granular technical data into a hidden appendix. When a CEO challenges an efficiency number, navigate directly to the backup slide containing raw data and equations to prove your math. You should build backup slides for the 3 most predictable executive challenges. Why do we need to do this now? What happens if the project fails? And why can't our current staff handle this? Your slide structure handles the data, but you also need a specific verbal strategy for when executives aggressively push back on the budget. First, eliminate the word "but" from your vocabulary. Responding with "but" instantly creates a defensive argument. Instead, use the "yes and" framework. You validate their concern by saying, "Yes, the $5 million upfront cost is high." Then you pivot with "and," explaining, "And this is why my chart shows the cost of doing nothing reaches $8 million by next year." Keeping these data reserves ready and redirecting resistance through agreement keeps the conversation moving forward, preventing a single objection from derailing the entire proposal. If you end the meeting on a generic "thank you" slide and the board says they will think about it, your project will be forgotten the moment they leave the room. Force a decision by shrinking risk with a pilot project close. Instead of the full budget, request a tiny fraction for a strict 14-day test. Offer a guaranteed kill switch. If the pilot fails to hit exact targets, it's immediately terminated with no further loss. By removing the financial danger, you force a low-risk micro-commitment, making it remarkably easy for the board to say yes. You've now taken a bloated 30-page technical manual and distilled it down to a focused 5-slide narrative. You addressed immediate fears, proved the financial returns, mitigated risk, and supported every claim with the specific raw data required to verify it. Getting the CEO's signature on that pilot project is a critical milestone, but the execution phase is where most approved ideas ultimately fall apart. Next, we will examine how to build a continuous tracking system to ensure your approved pilot survives its collision with the factory floor. Mastering the executive pitch deck is the critical bridge that turns a theoretical idea into a funded reality.